So as we just heard, concerns are mounting over the weakening Korean won, adding pressure on the central bank to protect the local currency. For more on how the government is working to stabilize the foreign exchange market, we're joined today by Professor Kim Yong-Jin, professor at Sogang Business School. Professor Kim, thanks for joining us this morning.
Morning, pleasure to be here.
So the Korean government is easing loan restrictions on companies to bring in more U.S. dollars. Do you think this will be effective in strengthening the Korean won against the dollar?
Yeah, I think it would be effective, but like a kind of short term. As I mentioned, the government plans to ease restrictions on foreign currency loans for won-dominated uses, for exporting corporations, big, exporting corporations, right? This system allows companies to borrow dollars for spendings on labor and raw material, which have been paid in won. Previously, it was allowed only for facility fund, like, factory equipment investment. But now these foreign currency loans will be available for routine operating fund as well. This policy change will help bring more dollars into Korean market because $1 exchange rate is high, then Korean companies may borrow the US dollar rather than Korean won. But at the moment, at this moment, we have a lot of demand for the stock investment in the US. So we'll see, how that affect the foreign exchange rate.
I see. And South Korea has also unveiled new measures to increase the inflow of foreign currency, including lowering barriers for foreign investors to invest in Korean stocks. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, I've been, asking this kind of changes, for several years. So Korean government plans to make it easier for foreigners to invest in domestic stocks with two measures of one, integrated foreign investor account, and second is automatic verification of foreign investors, which have been really, really difficult, until now. So foreign investors had to open an account at a domestic securities companies to buy Korean stocks. The government will promote integrated foreign investor account so foreign investors can trade Korean stock directly through their home country security firms, which is good. And it's similar to how Koreans buy the U.S. and Japanese stocks through domestic security firms, right? And the second one is the inconvenience faced by foreign corporations listed in overseas exchange when conducting FX hedging transactions in Korea. We've also resolved. Although, foreign corporations are legally qualified as professional investors in their countries, in practice, they were classified as a retail investors in Korea and had to submit a complicated document, proving the actual transaction purpose for each FX derivatives transactions. The government planned to recognize foreign corporations listed overseas as professional investors in Korea without separate verification. So they can conduct FX hedging transactions without complex prior paperwork.
Right, and while that's happening in the United States, inflation is a pretty serious issue with the unemployment rate hitting a four-year high last month. What's behind this, and how is the Trump administration working to tackle these issues?
Yeah, as you mentioned, the employment rate, in the United States rose to a four-year high of 4.6 in November, up from 4.4 in October. According to Labor Department figures on Tuesday, this might be driven mostly by a loss of 162,000 federal government, roles, stemming from the Trump administration's, push to cut government jobs earlier this year, right? And many of the workers cut by the Trump administration's Department of Government Efficiency in the spring did not formally fall off the payroll until October. So now it happens, right? The second reason will be the layoff of software engineers in big companies, especially like young engineers. So it's a quite, tough situation in terms of unemployment in the United States. And Trump administration looks very optimistic, though. They see that, the labor market will turn around next year. Once the effect of the president business-friendly tax and regulatory policy kicks in, and the capital investment, that have helped to push the U.S. gross domestic product above 3% are also expected to push up payroll growth over the next year. But I'm quite skeptical about their argument.
I see. And before I let you go, how are these latest labor concerns in the United States affecting the Korean economy in terms of the foreign exchange rate and stock market?
Well, in general, a strong U.S. labor market and rising prices generally lead to a stronger U.S. dollar and potential outflow from South Korea. They're causing the Korean won to weaken and putting downward pressure on the stock market. In the case that the U.S. economy is weakening, Korean won gets stronger and capital inflow will happen. However, it is quite weird, right? The current situation is quite complicated. Even though U.S. economy is in the downturn, and that even the things like that does not happen, right? Due to the preference to the safe assets like gold and the U.S. dollar. U.S. dollar, is perceived as asset, a safe asset. So the Korean won gets weaker. Even further, AI bubble pops up. The Korean stock market is, closely related to U.S. stock market. So Korean stock market will be directly affected due to the impact of Korean, global chip makers. So that looks like even gloomy.
I see. I guess we'll have to see how that plays out. All right, Professor Kim, thank you so much for your insight today. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.